Hey everybody, Josh from Populi here. Today we're going to talk about file storage in Populi, specifically where you should store files on student profiles. This comes up a lot for institutions as they're getting started. You're coming from another piece of software that had its own way of dealing with things like this, and now where are you going to put those files in Populi? We have two main options, so there's not a one-size-fits-all answer. What are we, knit caps or socks?
Oh, socks actually come in different sizes, Josh.
Shut up, Gabe. Let's look at the two main options. One is the activity feed. Every student profile has an activity feed to which anyone with a staff role has access. So you can place files directly on that feed. Two, custom fields. Custom fields can exist throughout a student's profile on various tabs. So you can create a file type custom field and then place files directly on a student's profile on the student tab or on the financial tab and so on. So let's look at storing files on the activity feed. The activity feed is a great place for storing files that need to be preserved for posterity. So let's say that you have a student sign a document and then you take that document, upload it to Populi, you want it to be somewhere for reference, the activity feed is a great option. Let's look at this on a student's profile. If we look here at the activity feed, you can see that I have the option to just add a note, or I can upload a file right here. I'll click to do that. I'll select the file and then click upload. And now once that's uploaded, I can just add that private note and it'll go directly to the student's profile. However, we also have other visibility options here. And if I click show visibility options, you can see that the default here is that this would be added as a private note. That means that only my Populi account would be able to see this file on this student's activity feed. So if we want others to be able to see this, we would need to make a selection by role. So I can choose a couple roles. I'm going to choose the academic admin role and the financial admin role. Now, with that set, anyone who has either of those roles would be able to see this file on this student's profile. I'll click add note, and then if we go down below, we can see that that file has been added there. Another note about visibility here. Students never see their own activity feed. So students are not even aware that they have an activity feed. So anything you place here won't be visible by someone who only has the student role. Now, the activity feed is a feed, so that means that as other items come in, earlier items get pushed further down and potentially out of view. There are ways of overcoming that. We have controls at the top here that allow you to make selections. So if I want to just see files, I can choose that down here. Now I'm just looking at files. So if I have a number of different things on this feed and I just want to focus on the files, I can use that. Another thing that we can do here to make sure that we're able to find important files here is that I can go here once I've added a file, click on those three stacked dots, and then choose flag file. Now, I can also go back up to that category selector and then choose flagged. Now I'm only going to see the flagged items on this student's activity feed. That helps you make sure that you can keep track of relevant files and then suppress some of the noise on the activity feed. Let's go look at the option for using custom fields to place files on student profiles. For instance, if we want to create a field that we can use to store files on the info tab of a student's profile, we can go up to contacts and then over to manage and then custom fields. And then once we're there, we'd be able to add a field. For input, we're going to select file, and then we'll give it a name, and then I could give it a description if I want, and then I can also control the data permissions. Your data permissions are not visible to profile owner, so if you don't want a student to be able to see the file that you're placing there, that would be your option. You can make it visible to the profile owner so they'd be able to see that it's there, and then you can also make it editable. And then you can also make it editable by the profile owner. So that would mean a student can delete a file or upload a new file to overwrite an existing file. Once you've set that, you can save. And then if we go back to that student's profile, we can click add under other info, and then choose a custom field. And then we can find that field. We called it new field. And then I would be able to upload a file here and then save. And now that file is there on the info tab of the student's profile. We also have another file type that you can create. If we go back to where we created that other file, I'm going to add a field again. And then for input this time, I'm going to choose multiple files. So I'll give that a quick name, choose the data permissions, and then save. And then if we go back to a student's profile here, and then click add, choose a custom field, and then choose new multiple, I can add a file, and then add another file. And then instead of overwriting that existing file, I can save, and both of those files will exist on that single field. So those are a couple of options there. You can have a field that only accepts one file at a time, or a field that accepts multiple files. That's how you add fields to the info tab on a student's profile. But depending on your roles, you would also be able to create other custom fields on various other tabs on a student's profile. So if we want to add a file to the student tab on the profile, we would go to academics, and then to settings, and then to student fields. And then we would add a field there that would show up on the student tab. Then if we want to add an admissions field, we would go to admissions, settings, admissions fields, and add that field there. Now, if we want to create a financial field, we'll just go to financial, and then sort of under billing here, we'll go to settings, and then we have an option for custom fields. And then if we want to add a field to financial aid, we can go to settings there, and then we have an option for custom fields there. Creating custom fields in any of those places results in a field that you can add on a student's profile on the relevant tab. One thing to keep in mind as you add custom fields to tabs is that you don't have the same granularity of control over visibility that you have back on the activity feed. What that means is that anybody whose roles allow them to see a given tab will be able to see that file there. If you have a student who has an advisor assigned and they go to that student tab, they'll be able to see that file. So if there's a file that an advisor shouldn't see, but an academic admin should see, the student tab might not work for that situation. Let's go over the roles necessary to create custom fields in these various areas real quick. If you have the staff role, you'll be able to create custom fields under contacts that will show up on the info tab. If you have the academic admin role, you'll be able to create custom fields that will show up on the student tab. If you have the admissions admin role, you'll be able to create custom fields for the admissions tab. If you have the financial admin or the financial aid role, you'll be able to create custom fields that show up on the financial aid tab. So your best options for storing files on a student's profile are on the activity feed or using a custom field on a profile tab. I'm Josh for Populi. Thanks a lot for watching. Go ahead and click subscribe, and then that little notifications bell will pop up. Click that, ding, 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 to receive any notifications about videos that we post to our channel. Also, go ahead and click like. You watch this far, you might as well. And you can also follow us on social media. Check us out there. Thanks a lot. Have a great day.